Good morning. We're so excited today to introduce you to some really amazing friends. We're about to visit them. We wanted to take you to their house with us. And there are a couple who have been a mentor to us for many, many, many years. People we really admire. We've learned tons and tons from them. Anzaya and Mbithe. And they're just really, really, I mean, you're going to enjoy meeting this couple.
Yeah, they have an amazing home. They also have an amazing story.
They have an amazing story. So we've arrived at their gate and we're going to pull in now and look forward to just connecting with them. So here we go. Let's do this. We are so excited to introduce you to some very good friends of ours, people we've known for years and who've really had a huge impact on our lives. I'm speaking about, of course, Anzaya and Mbithe, a very accomplished couple, achieved great things. Anzaya has been an architect for years, runs his own architectural firm called Synthesis, and Mbithe is head of learning and people development for a major airline. And we're so excited to be in their home. They're hosting us this morning and we're just learning from them. We can't wait to share with you, for them to share with you some of the things that have impacted us in the time that we've known them.
Yeah, and some of the ways that they have impacted is in the books that they have written. They've written 5 books. The first book they wrote is called U-Turn, and it's for parents with children between 0 and 10 years. And then the second one they wrote is called Ropes, that's Rites of Passage. And it's for parents or for children as they're moving on to become teenagers. You know, that's quite a messy situation. And so they've written a book about that. Then they've written one called Voice of Purpose. And that is a book for parents of teens. We did that book. It was amazing once we got our kids to be teens. And then we have one called Meet Maisha. And this is a life stage book for people who are between 30 and 40 years. Again, the unique issues that they're going through at that time. You know, there's a book for that. And then there's one called Tamati. And this is a study on finishing well, which we did recently, and it's for people who are over 50. Now, we are not yet over 50, but we did the class ahead of time.
They kindly allowed us to do the
we
class
begged,
ahead of time.
and they allowed us.
We our whole time.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to start right from now. So we're going to dig right in from that point. And I mean, this study we did together, it was fantastic. We learned a lot with several other couples, people in their 50s and 60s. One of the things that struck us the most is that people at that age have regrets. And for you guys who've taught this class several times, you have encountered couples at that age have great regrets. What are some of the key regrets people have as couples in their 50s and 60s?
Thank you very much. Let me start with the major regret that people have. And it's got to do with having enough money to live on, passive incomes. And by the time you're getting into the age of 55, it's sort of getting late and your energies are running down. And so they struggle because there wasn't good planning. There probably was an overinvestment in things that are not income generating in this stage of life. And some investments that just went bad. And so there are difficulties, there's regrets as to how they will live for the rest of their lives. They have to support relatives and those kinds of obligations.
And there's another one, wasn't there?
Yeah, another regret you have noticed most people aired was related to the marriage. Realizing that the marriage was dysfunctional and it wasn't their wish. What happened, because we're running parallel careers, the couples gave time to their careers as opposed to the relationship, or even time for the children. So that was a regret.
There were people who perhaps didn't spend enough time with their children, and therefore they get to this stage whereby they are probably 20 going forward, and there isn't a resolve to become and do something.
In the part of the kids.
Yes.
So the kids have no ambition.
They're not succeeding.
Not
Not
succeeding, not focused. And so that's a very deep regret. And it's like, what did we do wrong?
Yeah.
Just some of the decisions that you made early in your marriage that, helped you succeed.
That's a very good question, Carol.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we made, and this is our story as we tell it, it may not be the story for everybody, is when we got married, we decided if God blessed us with children, I would take time off work during their formative years.
Wow.
So I was actually home for 12 years until our youngest got to formal education. And it wasn't easy. But it's one of the decisions that we had to make, and we knew then it meant living on one income, which means our lifestyle is cut in a certain way.
Yeah.
And just learning to go without certain things.
Yeah.
And knowing it's because of this choice you made.
Yeah.
And again, also that helps us realize it's just for a season.
Yeah.
So being aware of the seasons of life.
So you basically made a radical choice, because I'm sure many of your
Yes.
peers would not have understood that choice.
Yes.
But that one of you would actually slow down career-wise
Yeah.
for the sake of working together for your children. And for
Yes,
your
and
home.
being the primary caretaker
Wow.
of the children.
That's pretty radical.
One of the choices we made is that I would be available too as a father to the children and to be there, when she was at home. So I decided wherever we moved, I would have my office within the compound of the house. Okay? What this meant is that I was available to be there, I was available to the children. I was involved in, taking them to school and sometimes picking them for them to come back. And in the earlier years when they came home, they would find dad and mom. But that didn't mean that, I was playing in the afternoon, They would just see I was there, and that was, sufficient for them.
We had another one related to ministry. We decided to invest in ministry, and we worked in the same ministry. When our firstborn was 4 years, we were trained on parenting, and then after that we would give 32 weekends in a year.
Oh, wow.
Training people to be good parents.
Yes, so that's ministry that we did together.
Yeah.
Something else to add?
So giving back together as a couple.
Yes.
What are some regrets you have? What are some things that you wish you did differently, that you do differently if you had a chance?
Okay, let me go first.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'll do differently is that when I transitioned from academia into the corporate world, I should have got a mentor at that stage. But I wasn't aware of that then. Now I'm very conscious about the different seasons of life, having a mentor, or if I'm working, a coach to walk with me in different perspectives.
The thing I would have done differently is when we were growing up, I think my dad and that generation taught us the first thing you get is a house. When you get a house, everything is settled.
Yeah.
But I saw some friends do it differently. What they first did was invest in income generating assets. For instance, they'd buy a plot, they'd build houses, and they'd begin getting an income in the first 3-4 years of marriage. Yeah. What we did first is begin building a house, and that took us, quite some time.
But it's a beautiful home.
Yes, and we enjoy
Yes,
it.
we enjoy it.
In an amazing suburb. It's beautiful.
But if I were to go back, I would do the same thing as those two other friends of mine did. Invest in that, and then later on come and do the house.
Yeah.
Now, today in our audience, we have couples who are in their 20s, others who are in their 40s. And, I think what we would like to ask you is what advice would you give these couples on what they can begin doing now to ensure that they succeed together? I mean, that's the whole thing. You do want to succeed together. What would you say to these couples?
One of the things that we say to the couples is once you get married, you become a team. So really recognize the fact that you become a team. It's not Mbithe and Anzaya. You've been put together to work together. So it's really important to support together as you begin right up front.
Yeah.
But even as you're working together, realize that each of you has independent and different gifts. So support each other in the gifts, but always thinking about that common goal.
Okay.
That we need be a team. Be a team.
I think the biggest thing for us that we struggled with was the peer pressure to accumulate as fast as other people were doing.
It's very important to invest in the relationship. as a couple. Invest in that relationship,
marriage.
your marriage. Because children, they can sense if the marriage is working or not, and the home is very critical. Invest also in your children. Take some time to be with your children, because they're seasons of life. 18 comes so soon and they're gone. And also take time to invest in the extended family, because in our culture, you have siblings, both sides. As you're getting to your 40s and 50s, aging parents, you also need to support them. That's critical. And find time for community. Find time to reach out to people, because you never live alone. You always live in a community. Find time to do ministry.
I think the 30s and 40s are very critical stages in life. That's where you do a lot of investment in the things that will matter when you're in the 50s. And so I feel like it's important that we invest in the marriage, we invest in the children, like Mbithe was saying, because those are the things that you begin to reflect on in that later stage and feel good about. The money can be there, but without
Brings no joy.
no joy at all. Joy is in the relationships.
Well, you've heard it from them. We're so glad. What a privilege that we could share our mentors with you. And even just in that short time, what powerful things, what great wisdom that I know has been a blessing to somebody here. And so we're so glad. We pray that the things you've heard are things you can take home with you, things you can continue to work on to help you succeed together. Remember again, there are couples who succeed financially but fail in their marriage. And there are others who, they succeed in their marriage but they fail financially. And the whole idea of today is how you can become a couple that succeed in all ways. And we're looking forward to seeing that happening in every one of your marriages.